Here is a comprehensive, long-form, detail-by-detail review of Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Robert T. Kiyosaki, covering the full book in depth, including its key lessons, chapter breakdowns, core philosophies, and criticisms. Full book review. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Author Robert T. Kiyosaki. First published 1997. Genre: personal finance, self-help, education. Introduction. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is one of the most influential and widely read personal finance books in the world. Written by entrepreneur and investor Robert T. Kiyosaki, the book is a semi-autobiographical narrative contrasting the financial philosophies of two father figures in Kiyosaki's life. Poor Dad. His biological father, a well-educated man who believed in traditional education and job security. Rich Dad, his best friend's father, a high school dropout who became a wealthy businessman through financial education and entrepreneurship. This comparison sets the foundation for the book's central thesis. Financial success is not about how much money you make, but how much you understand about money. Core philosophy of the book. Kiyosaki argues that schools fail to teach financial literacy. People stay poor or middle class because they work for money instead of making money work for them. The rich focus on assets, while the poor and middle class focus on income and liabilities. Developing your mindset, financial intelligence, and entrepreneurial thinking is the key to wealth. Chapter by chapter breakdown with key takeaways. Here's an expanded and detailed explanation of Chapter 1, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, to help you deeply understand the lessons Robert Kiyosaki conveys. Chapter 1, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Theme: the value of financial education and mindset. Setting the stage. Robert Kiyosaki begins his book by recounting his childhood in Hawaii, where he grew up under the influence of two father figures. Poor Dad, his biological father, highly educated, PhD, head of the education department in Hawaii, believed strongly in formal education, good grades, and job security, advocated traditional success, study hard, get a degree, get a job, and climb the corporate ladder. Rich Dad, his best friend Mike's father, did not complete 8th grade but became a wealthy businessman. Taught financial literacy through experience, risk-taking, and investment. Believed in entrepreneurship, ownership, and creating assets that generate income. The philosophical conflict. These two fathers held completely opposite views about money, success, and life. This difference forms the central conflict and learning opportunity of the book. Topic: Poor Dad, Rich Dad. Education. Formal education is the key to success. Financial education is the key to wealth. Money. Avoid talking about it. It's not polite. Talk about it openly and learn how it works. Work. Work for money, job security. Make money work for you, freedom. Risk. Avoid risk. Take calculated risks. Wealth. Live below your means. Expand your means by building assets. Kiyosaki's internal struggle. As a young boy, Kiyosaki was confused. Both fathers were intelligent and successful in their own ways, but they gave him conflicting messages. Poor Dad told him to get a good education to secure a safe job. Rich Dad told him to learn how money works so he could become financially free. This internal conflict forced Robert to choose between following conventional wisdom or exploring financial wisdom. Ultimately, he began to side with Rich Dad, though he respected both men. The flaw in formal education. Kiyosaki criticizes the traditional school system for the following. It teaches how to memorize and follow rules, but not how to think critically about money. It prepares students to become employees, not owners. Financial literacy, such as budgeting, investing, taxes, and debt management, is not taught. He argues that not knowing how money works is the root cause of most financial struggles, even among well-educated people. Quote, one dad would say, "The love of money is the root of all evil." The other said, "The lack of money is the root of all evil." This stark contrast highlights the difference in financial worldview. Key concepts introduced. 1. Mindset is everything. What separates the rich from the poor isn't just money, it's how they think about money. Poor dad's thinking was scarcity-based, play it safe. Rich dad's thinking was abundance-based, invest, grow, create value. 2. Money is a tool. Rich dad taught Robert to view money as a tool, not just as income, but as a resource that can grow. Poor dad viewed money as something you earn and save. 3. Learning by doing. Rich dad offered lessons through real-life experiences, like working in his stores. He emphasized the importance of learning by participating, not just by reading books. Story examples: Kiyosaki and his friend Mike wanted to learn how to be rich. Rich dad offered them a job for very little pay to teach them a lesson. Most people work for money out of fear and habit. When Kiyosaki complained about low pay, Rich dad challenged him to think beyond the paycheck and start looking for opportunities. This experience opened his eyes to how the rich train their minds to see money differently. Core messages and lessons. Lesson 1. The rich don't work for money. They make money work for them. Don't chase a paycheck. Instead, seek knowledge and opportunities. Train your brain to spot value, create solutions, and understand investments. Lesson 2. Formal education won't make you rich. School teaches how to be a good employee, not how to manage or grow money. If you want to be financially free, you need to self-educate financially. Lesson 3. Financial independence comes from financial intelligence. The ability to make smart decisions about money, not just having a high salary, is what leads to wealth. Reflection questions for personal application. Do you see money as something you work for or something that can work for you? Were you taught about money, investing, and assets in school? Do you think your current mindset around money is more like poor dad's or rich dad's? What can you do today to start learning how money works? Conclusion of Chapter 1. Robert Kiyosaki sets the tone of the book by showing that real financial success comes from education of a different kind. A mindset that understands money as a tool and life as a playground for opportunity. He encourages readers to reevaluate what they've been taught, to unlearn limiting beliefs, and to begin a new journey of learning about money, risk, and freedom. Chapter 2. The rich don't work for money. Theme: work to learn, not to earn. Overview. In this chapter, Robert Kiyosaki begins to challenge the idea of job security as the ultimate goal in life. He explains that most people get trapped in a cycle of working to earn money without ever questioning the system. Instead of working for money, Kiyosaki argues that the rich learn how to make money work for them. He introduces an important life lesson. The poor and middle class work for money. The rich have money work for them. The rat race, becoming a slave to money. Kiyosaki introduces the idea of the rat race, which describes how most people go to school to get a job to earn a salary, use that salary to pay for their lifestyle, rent, loans, food, etc. When they earn more, they spend more, end up working harder just to survive financially. This cycle continues endlessly because of fear of not having money and desire to buy things. Emotions control their thinking, not logic. Fear and greed, the emotional trap. Kiyosaki points out two emotions that trap most people into working for money. Fear, people are afraid of being broke, so they settle for job security. Desire, greed, people want nicer things, so they spend more as they earn more. These two emotions keep people stuck in jobs they may not love, living paycheck to paycheck. But the rich recognize this emotional trap, and instead of reacting emotionally, they train themselves to think logically, manage their fear, control their desires. The real-life lesson from Rich Dad. When Kiyosaki was just 9 years old, Rich Dad offered him and his friend Mike jobs at one of his convenience stores. But he paid them only 10 cents an hour, a tiny wage even back then. This made Kiyosaki angry and frustrated. After a few weeks, he demanded a raise. But instead of increasing his pay, Rich Dad gave him a lesson. If you learn life's lessons, you will do well. If not, life will just continue to push you around. Rich Dad explained that life doesn't teach with words. It teaches by pushing you around. Most people react by getting angry, quitting, or settling. But the smart ones reflect, learn, and grow. Breaking the cycle. Rich Dad deliberately withheld money to show Robert how people are controlled by it. He wanted him to stop thinking like a wage earner, start thinking like a problem solver and an entrepreneur. Look beyond the paycheck to find opportunities. Kiyosaki says that most people work for money their entire lives, but never learn how to create value or build wealth. Real learning begins when you stop expecting a paycheck. Rich Dad eventually offered Robert a better opportunity. Not by increasing his wage, but by teaching him to identify business ideas, like noticing unsold comic books at the store. Use resources to create a mini business. Comic book library for kids. Understand supply and demand, customer value, and passive income. This small experience became Robert's first lesson in entrepreneurship and financial creativity. 4 concepts from Chapter 2. 1. Financial intelligence, hard work. Working hard is not the key to becoming rich. Working smart is. Financial intelligence comes from learning how money, taxes, investments, and systems work. 2. Don't work for money. Let it work for you. If you only work for a paycheck, you're trapped in a system designed to keep you dependent. Wealth comes from owning assets and building cash flow systems. 3. Seek opportunities. Not just paychecks. Rich Dad encouraged Kiyosaki to observe, think, and ask questions. He taught him to look for value in hidden places, like unused resources or unmet needs. 4. Work to learn, not just to earn. Jobs are learning platforms. Work different roles, sales, accounting, management, etc., to develop diverse skills that help you build wealth in the future. Right, son. You're only poor if you give up. The most important thing is that you did something. When you come up against something you don't know, you just do what the rich do. You learn. You take action. People's lives are forever controlled by 2 emotions, fear and greed. Key lesson: don't chase a paycheck. Chase financial skills. Chasing money is like chasing a moving target. It keeps you running, but never lets you rest. Instead, build your financial intelligence so that you can recognize smart opportunities, create income-generating assets, reduce your dependence on jobs and salaries. Personal reflection questions. Are you working out of fear or desire? Or are you working to grow? Have you ever felt stuck in the rat race? What keeps you there? What financial skills could you learn today to start breaking free? Do you rely more on paychecks or on income-generating assets? Weak conclusion of Chapter 2. Chapter 2 of Rich Dad, Poor Dad is a wake-up call. Kiyosaki wants readers to understand that real wealth is not about earning more. It's about thinking differently. Working for money puts you in a box. Learning how money works, how to leverage it, invest it, and multiply it frees you from that box. Chapter 3. Why teach financial literacy? Theme: understanding the difference between assets and liabilities. Overview. In this chapter, Robert Kiyosaki dives into what it really means to be financially literate. He stresses that schools teach academic skills and professional skills, but they don't teach students how to manage money, how to build wealth, or how to understand financial statements. The foundation of financial literacy, according to Kiyosaki, comes down to this crucial distinction. The rich buy assets. The poor and middle class buy liabilities they think are assets. This concept forms the cornerstone of his entire financial philosophy. What is financial literacy? Financial literacy, Kiyosaki explains, is not about how much money you make, but how you manage and grow what you have. It's your ability to understand the true nature of money, recognize financial traps, make informed decisions that build wealth over time. Without financial literacy, people fall into a cycle of making more money, spending more money, taking on debt, thinking they're getting richer when in fact they're becoming more burdened. The core difference: assets versus liabilities. Kiyosaki introduces a simple definition that cuts through the noise of complex accounting jargon. Asset puts money into your pocket. Example: rental income, dividends, royalties, businesses that run without you. Liability takes money out of your pocket. Example: mortgage payments, car loans, credit card debt, expensive hobbies. If it puts money in your pocket, it's an asset. If it takes money out, it's a liability. He warns that many people think they are buying assets when they're actually buying liabilities. Example: your house. Most people believe their personal residence is an asset. But if it's not generating income and is instead causing monthly expenses, mortgage, taxes, maintenance, then by Kiyosaki's definition, it's a liability. The middle class trap. Kiyosaki explains how the poor and middle class are often caught in a dangerous loop. They earn money. They buy a house, car, or new gadgets. These assets take money out of their pocket via loans, upkeep, interest. They feel richer, but their cash flow weakens, and they become more dependent on their paycheck. They buy liabilities they think are assets, and then they struggle financially all their lives. Instead of building wealth, they are feeding liabilities. The wealthy's approach. In contrast, the rich focus on acquiring income-generating assets, businesses, real estate that generates rent, dividend-paying stocks, royalties from intellectual property, investments that appreciate and produce cash flow. By accumulating these assets, their money starts working for them, not the other way around. As their assets grow, they reinvest the income, continue to buy more assets, gradually achieve financial freedom. Focus on cash flow, not net worth. Many people are obsessed with net worth, the total value of their assets minus liabilities. But Kiyosaki argues that this number can be misleading. For example, you may have $1 million home, but if you have no income-producing assets and still have a large mortgage, taxes, and zero cash flow, you're still financially vulnerable. Cash flow tells the truth. Net worth can lie. Kiyosaki's advice: build a portfolio of assets that generates positive monthly cash flow, regardless of whether you're working or not. Well, story, the financial statement. Kiyosaki introduces the idea of a simple personal financial statement composed of income, expenses, assets, liabilities. He encourages readers to focus on the bottom line. Does your current lifestyle bring in more than it costs? Rich Dad taught me to focus on my asset column. Key lessons from Chapter 3. First, financial intelligence is simpler than it seems. You don't need to be a genius to be financially smart. Just understand this: buy assets, minimize liabilities. 2. Your cash flow pattern defines your wealth. Wealth is not a job title or a salary. It's the ability to generate passive income from assets. 3. The rich build asset columns. Every dollar they earn is seen as a tool to acquire more income-generating assets. They don't spend to impress. They invest to grow. 4. Beware of false assets. If something costs you money every month, insurance, maintenance, debt, it's a liability, no matter how prestigious it seems. Personal reflection questions. Do you currently own more assets or liabilities? Are there items in your life you consider assets that are actually draining your money? How much passive income do you currently have? What could you start doing now to build your asset column? Conclusion of Chapter 3. Kiyosaki delivers one of the most revolutionary and actionable teachings in modern personal finance. Learn the difference between assets and liabilities, and build your life around acquiring real assets. This mindset is what sets the rich apart. It's not about earning more from your job. It's about changing how you use your money. Master this principle, and you lay the foundation for financial independence. Chapter 4. Mind your own business. Theme: focus on building and owning your income sources. Chapter summary. In this chapter, Kiyosaki stresses the importance of not confusing your profession with your business. While most people are caught up in climbing the corporate ladder or securing a high-paying job, the wealthy understand that real financial freedom comes from ownership, not employment. The main takeaway: the moment you start working for someone else, you are building their business, not yours. This chapter is not anti-job. Kiyosaki makes it clear: keep your job. Use it to fund the creation of your own income-generating assets. Mind your own business, literally and financially. Your job is not your business. Most people grow up with the mindset instilled by the poor dad philosophy. Go to school, get a degree, find a secure job, climb the ladder, retire. Kiyosaki argues that this system teaches people to work hard for others, for the company, for the government, through taxes, and for the bank through loans. In contrast, the rich dad philosophy focuses on working for yourself by growing your asset column. You must mind your own business. Keep your day job, but start buying real assets, not liabilities or personal effects that have no real value once you get them home. What does minding your own business mean? To mind your own business means to focus on building your personal financial engine, a portfolio of assets that generates income independent of your time and labor. Instead of working overtime to get a raise, hoping for job security, counting on a pension plan. Building your asset column, Kiyosaki defines assets as things that put money in your pocket, even when you're not working. This includes asset examples: real estate, rental properties that generate monthly income; stocks, especially dividend-paying stocks; bonds, steady but lower yield income streams; intellectual property, royalties from books, songs, patents, etc. Businesses, especially those that can operate without your daily presence; digital assets, websites, ebooks, courses, apps, etc. We become what we study, so choose your study materials carefully. This is a call to learn about wealth building, not just traditional academics. Financial education is something you pursue independently. Avoid the rat race trap. Many professionals, even high-income earners like doctors and lawyers, fall into the trap of increasing their spending as income rises, buying liabilities, luxury homes, cars, gadgets, taking on more debt, working harder to maintain lifestyle inflation. The rich buy assets. The poor only have expenses. The middle class buys liabilities they think are assets. If your income stops, can you still afford your lifestyle? If not, you're stuck in the rat race. Well, the wealthy mindset, asset acquisition. The rich don't necessarily earn the most money at their jobs. They just focus on accumulating cash-flowing assets. They think differently. How can I buy something that will generate money long-term? How do I make my money work for me? Every dollar earned is treated like an employee. Its job is to go out and bring back more dollars. The rich focus on their asset columns, while everyone else focuses on their income statements. Kiyosaki's personal story. He shares how he and his wife kept their day jobs while slowly investing in real estate on the side. Over time, their asset column grew. Rental income covered their living expenses. They became financially free, not by working harder, but by working smarter. Key lessons from Chapter 4. 1. Keep your day job. For now, use it to pay bills and fund your asset building journey. 2. Start building your asset column. Even a small investment like a few shares of stock can grow over time. 3. Your real business is your portfolio. Your profession earns you a living. Your assets build wealth. 4. Live below your means and invest the rest. Delay gratification. Don't buy toys, buy tools. Assets. 5. Be financially curious. Learn about real estate, stocks, royalties, and entrepreneurship. Don't depend on formal education for financial intelligence. Reflection questions. Do you know the difference between your job and your business? Are you working to build someone else's dream or your own? What assets do you currently own that make money without your effort? How can you start investing in assets this month, even in a small way? Are you tracking your income, expenses, assets, and liabilities? Famous quotes from Chapter 4. The rich focus on their asset columns, while everyone else focuses on their income statements. Keep your day job and start buying real assets, not liabilities or personal effects that have no real value. Mind your own business. Build and keep your asset column strong. Chapter conclusion. Chapter 4 is a wake-up call. It encourages readers to shift from dependency to ownership, from employee thinking to entrepreneur thinking. Kiyosaki doesn't condemn jobs, but he reveals that you'll never be free if you don't build something of your own. If your goal is true financial freedom, then your focus must be growing your asset column, increasing your passive income, and building your own business on the side. That is what it means to mind your own business. Chapter 5: The History of Taxes and the Power of Corporations. Theme: Understanding the tax system and corporate structure. Chapter summary. Chapter 5 explains the significant differences between how employees and corporations are taxed, and how understanding and using these differences can be a powerful advantage in wealth building. Kiyosaki traces the historical evolution of taxes, emphasizing that taxes originally targeted the wealthy and corporations, not employees. Over time, laws and structures evolved, giving corporations advantages that the average employee does not have. The rich leverage corporations to reduce taxes, protect assets, and increase financial leverage, tools unavailable to most employees. How employees versus corporations are taxed. For employees, taxes are deducted before they receive their paycheck. Income tax, Social Security, Medicare. Employees pay tax on their gross income regardless of expenses. No deductions for most everyday expenses. The employee's money is taxed first, then they spend what remains. For corporations earn money before paying taxes. They deduct business expenses, office rent, supplies, employee salaries, equipment, before calculating taxable income. This means corporations pay taxes on profits after expenses, not total income. Corporations can reinvest income into the business before paying tax. The power of corporations. Kiyosaki highlights that the rich use corporations as legal entities to reduce taxable income by deducting legitimate business expenses, protect personal assets from business liabilities, access special tax treatments unavailable to individuals, increase financial leverage by using borrowed money through the corporation to invest and grow wealth. He points out how the corporation is a tool, not just a business form, but a tax strategy and shield. Spend before you're taxed. A key concept Kiyosaki introduces is that corporations get to spend money before paying taxes, while employees pay taxes before they can spend. For example, an employee's salary is taxed first, then they buy a car. A corporation can buy a car as a business expense, lowering taxable income. This difference creates a significant advantage for corporations and their owners. Financial leverage and asset protection. Corporations enable the rich to use other people's money, loans, investors more easily. Protect personal assets from business lawsuits or debts. Take advantage of tax deductions that employees never see. Keep more of their money working for them. This creates a cycle of compounding growth and protection. Historical context of taxes. Kiyosaki provides a brief history of taxes. Taxes were originally designed to take wealth from the rich. Over time, tax laws evolved with loopholes. Corporations and wealthy individuals learned to use the tax code to their advantage. Employees, by contrast, are taxed at source and have limited options. Understanding this context helps readers realize that the tax system is designed with layers, and the wealthy know how to navigate those layers. Key lessons from Chapter 5. 1. Understand tax differences. Know that employees and corporations are taxed very differently. This knowledge is the first step to financial empowerment. 2. Use corporations and legal entities. Form legal entities to protect assets. Take advantage of business expense deductions. Structure investments through corporations when possible. 3. Increase financial leverage. Use corporate borrowing to grow wealth. Leverage tax savings for re. Plan your taxes. Don't fear taxes. Plan to legally minimize them. Invest in financial education about tax strategies. Reflection questions. Do you know how your income is taxed compared to a corporation's? Have you considered forming a legal entity for your business or investments? Are you taking full advantage of allowable business deductions? How can you use leverage more effectively in your financial strategy? What steps can you take to educate yourself on taxes and corporate finance? Quotes from Chapter 5. The rich pay the least amount of taxes because they use corporations to protect and grow their wealth. Corporations are a powerful tool the rich use to legally reduce their taxes and protect their assets. You have to learn the difference between an asset and a liability, and then learn how to use the tax system to your advantage. Chapter conclusion. Chapter 5 is an eye-opener to how much legal knowledge about taxes and corporations matters in wealth building. While most people accept their tax burden as fixed and unavoidable, the rich understand that by learning the rules and leveraging corporations, they can keep more of their money and grow their wealth faster. For readers aspiring to financial independence, mastering this knowledge is essential. It's not just about how much you make, but how much you keep, and how you let your money work for you before taxes eat into your income. Chapter 6. The Rich Invent Money. Theme, financial intelligence and spotting opportunities. Chapter summary. In this chapter, Kiyosaki dives into one of the most powerful ideas of the book. Money is not a fixed, limited resource. It is created through financial intelligence and creativity. Unlike the common belief that wealth depends solely on hard work or inheritance, Kiyosaki shows that the rich invent money by recognizing opportunities, making smart deals, and using their knowledge and networks to generate wealth. The rich don't wait passively for money to come to them. They actively create it. Financial intelligence, the key to creating money. The core concept here is financial intelligence, the ability to understand money, markets, and opportunities. People with high financial intelligence can see value where others see risk or nothing at all, spot trends early, and take advantage of them. Use knowledge of assets, liabilities, and tax laws to structure deals better. Kiyosaki stresses that financial education enables this mindset, letting you see invisible opportunities. Money is an idea, not a physical object. Kiyosaki challenges the traditional view of money as something fixed, like a pie that can only be sliced differently. Instead, money is a concept or an idea that can be created through innovation, deals, and problem solving. For example, inventors create products, entrepreneurs create businesses, and investors create wealth by creatively leveraging assets and capital. This idea shifts your mindset from scarcity to abundance. How the rich invent money. Kiyosaki describes practical ways the rich create money. Innovating, creating new products, services, or business models. Investing smartly, using financial knowledge to spot undervalued assets or create new investment vehicles. Networking, building connections that open doors to exclusive deals or capital. Negotiating deals, structuring transactions creatively, e.g. seller financing, options, to minimize upfront costs and risks. Calculated risk-taking versus gambling, A crucial distinction Kiyosaki makes is between taking calculated risks and gambling. Calculated risk-taking is based on knowledge, analysis, and preparation. Gambling is betting without knowledge or strategy, relying on luck. Financial intelligence allows you to reduce risk by understanding the probabilities, doing due diligence, and planning exit strategies. Key lessons from Chapter 6. Number 1. Financial education enables opportunity recognition. The more you learn, the more opportunities you can spot. Number 2. Create money through innovation and deals. Don't just earn money, create it by solving problems and structuring deals. Number 3. View money as a concept, not a finite resource. This mindset opens doors to creativity and abundance. 4. Take calculated risks. Use knowledge and planning to minimize risk, rather than avoid it completely. Reflection questions. How can you improve your financial education to spot better opportunities? What are some creative ways you can invent money in your current situation? Are you willing to take calculated risks after doing proper research? How do you distinguish between a calculated risk and gambling in your decisions? Who can you network with to gain new ideas and opportunities? Quotes from Chapter 6. The rich invent money by spotting opportunities where others see risk. Money is simply an idea, and with the right knowledge, you can create wealth from nothing. The secret to wealth is financial intelligence and the courage to act on it. Chapter conclusion. Chapter 6 empowers readers to think differently about money. Rather than seeing money as scarce or fixed, it encourages the belief that with financial intelligence, creativity, and boldness, you can create your own wealth. The rich are not just lucky, they are skilled at seeing, creating, and seizing opportunities. If you want to build wealth, you must cultivate financial education and use it to invent money, turning ideas into cash flow and value. Chapter 7. Work to learn, don't work for money. Theme: the importance of skill building over paycheck earning. Chapter summary. In this chapter, Kiyosaki shifts focus to the value of learning diverse skills rather than merely chasing a paycheck or a career title. He challenges the conventional wisdom that specializing narrowly in one profession, like engineering, medicine, or law, guarantees financial success. Instead, he advocates for broadening your skill set, especially in areas critical to financial success, such as sales, marketing, investing, accounting, and leadership. Kiyosaki emphasizes that by learning and mastering different skills, you become more adaptable, resourceful, and capable of creating wealth, qualities that money alone cannot buy. Specialization versus skill diversification. Most education systems and career paths encourage specialization. You study to become a doctor, lawyer, engineer, etc. You focus deeply on that field. You expect to make money primarily from that one skill. Kiyosaki criticizes this approach because it limits your financial flexibility and creativity. He argues that specializing too narrowly can make you vulnerable if market demands shift or your job becomes obsolete. Essential skills Kiyosaki recommends to build wealth and financial independence. Kiyosaki urges readers to develop skills beyond their core job expertise. These include 1. Sales. The ability to sell ideas, products, or yourself. Critical because every business or career requires convincing others. 2. Marketing. Understanding how to communicate value, and attract customers or investors. 3. Accounting. Knowing how to read financial statements, track cash flow, and manage money. 4. Investing. Learning how to make your money work for you through assets like real estate, stocks, or businesses. 5. Leadership. Managing people, projects, and opportunities effectively. The concept of role rotation and career flexibility. Kiyosaki encourages readers to rotate through different roles or even change careers if necessary to gain diverse skills. For example, take a job in sales, even if it's outside your current field. Volunteer for leadership opportunities. Work in different departments to understand business operations. This approach builds a broad toolkit that'll help you identify and create wealth opportunities. Why learning skills matters more than money. Money can be lost or gained, but skills are lasting assets. With the right skills, you can generate income from multiple sources, adapt to changing economic conditions, solve problems creatively, negotiate better deals, build and grow businesses. Kiyosaki's rich dad taught him that earning a big paycheck means little if you don't have the skills to manage or multiply. The lessons from Chapter 7. 1. Don't work just for money. Focus on gaining valuable skills that will serve you for life. 2. Broaden your skill set. Learn sales, marketing, accounting, investing, and leadership. 3. Be willing to start low or switch roles. Gaining experience is more important than pride and job title. 4. Continuous learning is essential. Financial intelligence comes from applying diverse knowledge. Reflection questions. What skills do you currently have beyond your core job? Which of the recommended financial skills would benefit you most to learn? Are you willing to take a role outside your comfort zone to learn new skills? How do you apply what you learn to build your own financial future? How can you balance earning money now with investing in your education? Quotes from Chapter 7. The most successful people don't work for money. They learn skills that make money work for them. The more skills you have, the more valuable and flexible you become. Don't be afraid to start at the bottom if it means learning something new. Chapter conclusion. Chapter 7 encourages a mindset shift. View your career as a school of financial education, not just a way to earn a paycheck. By prioritizing learning and skill development over salary alone, you increase your long-term financial security and ability to create wealth. The chapter calls on readers to be proactive in seeking out opportunities to expand their financial intelligence through diverse experiences. Final thoughts and epilogue. Theme: financial education as the path to freedom and choice. Summary and reflection. The epilogue serves as a powerful closing reminder of the book's central message. True financial success is built on education, mindset, and action, not just traditional academic achievement or a high salary. Kiyosaki reflects on his two dads, his biological poor dad, who valued formal schooling and a stable job, and his mentor rich dad, who emphasized financial education and understanding how money works. The difference between their advice reveals the stark contrast in mindset that separates many people who struggle financially from those who achieve wealth. Financial education over academic education. The book strongly advocates that financial education is a vital yet neglected form of education. Traditional schools focus on teaching academic subjects, but rarely teach how to manage money. How to manage money, how to invest, how to understand assets and liabilities, how to build multiple income streams. This gap leaves many unprepared for financial challenges and limits their ability to create wealth. Wealth as freedom, choice, and security. Kiyosaki redefines what wealth really means. It's not just about having a big bank balance. Wealth is about freedom. The ability to choose how to live without being constrained by money worries. It's about choice, having options in career, lifestyle, and spending. It's about security, knowing you can support yourself and your family no matter what. True wealth is financial independence, the ability to make decisions on your own terms. Call to action. Start your journey. The epilogue doesn't just summarize, it motivates. Kiyosaki challenges readers to stop waiting for the perfect time, take responsibility for their financial education, start learning, investing, and building assets today. Change their mindset from work for money to make money work for you. He stresses that financial freedom is achievable for anyone willing to learn and act. Key takeaways. Financial education is the foundation of wealth. Money is a tool to gain freedom and choice, not an end itself. Take control of your financial future by learning and acting now. Wealth creation is a mindset and a continuous journey, not a destination. Conclusion. The epilogue wraps up Rich Dad, Poor Dad by urging readers to take control of their financial destiny through education, mindset shifts, and practical action. It emphasizes that while formal education is valuable, without financial literacy, it's often not enough to create real wealth. This final message is a call to empower yourself, to become financially literate, make smart decisions, and embark on the lifelong journey toward true financial independence and freedom. PAR. Key concepts summarized. Concept Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Money, make it work for you. Work for money, education. Financial, self-taught, academic, formal. Risk, embrace and manage, avoid. Assets, buy, create assets. Focus on liabilities. Work to learn, work for job security. Taxes, use corporate structures, pay as employees. Strengths of the book, simple language, easy to read even for beginners. Mindset shift, encourages thinking beyond job security and salaries. Focus on assets. Clarifies important financial concepts. Storytelling format, makes it relatable and engaging. Inspiration, motivates readers to take control of their financial future. Criticisms and limitations. Lack of practical steps. The book is philosophical and lacks step-by-step guides. Questionable accuracy. Some critics say Rich Dad may be fictional. Oversimplification. Real-world financial decisions are more complex than presented. Risk underplayed. It encourages risk-taking, but doesn't detail how to mitigate those risks. Focus on real estate. Some parts overly emphasize real estate as a path to wealth. Who should read it? Young adults and beginners in finance. Employees looking for financial independence. Entrepreneurs, or those interested in starting side businesses. Anyone wanting to change their mindset about money. Related books to continue learning. The Millionaire Fastlane by M.J. DeMarco. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. The Intelligent Investor by Benjamin Graham. Your Money or Your Life by Vicki Robin. The Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel. Final Verdict Rating. Stars, 4.5 out of 5. Rich Dad, Poor Dad is not a textbook. It's a mindset manual. If you're looking for inspiration and perspective, it's brilliant. If you want technical investing advice, you'll need more than this book. Still, it remains a powerful gateway into financial thinking and has transformed millions of lives around the world.